Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Hope you all are fine and healthy. My name is Rahul Soni and I am Program Director at TCS IN Direct Academy Channel. I will be your host for today's webinar. On behalf of TCS IN Direct, I welcome you all to webinar on the topic Careers in Machine Learning. Artificial intelligence was almost exclusively the domain of academic research for decades. But in the past 10 years, machine learning techniques have finally achieved sufficient effectiveness and practicality for large-scale adoption in companies and institutions. Most organizations are still in the early stages, gaining proficiency in these technologies and growing them at enterprise scale. That's why we can say प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए इस फील्ड में बहुत स्कोप है एंड पोटेंशियल है जो कि लगातार बढ़ते जा रहा है। यही कारण है कि पिछले कुछ सालों में मशीन लर्निंग फील्ड में जॉब ओपनिंग्स बढ़ती जा रही हैं और इससे जुड़े कोर्सेज की डिमांड भी बढ़ रही है। सो टू अंडरस्टैंड मोर अबाउट द पोटेंशियल स्कोप एंड ऑल द थिंग्स अबाउट मशीन लर्निंग and to get the answers of the questions like what are the best roles and positions are in this field, what should you study, what will be the future of machine learning. So we have invited a very special guest, Mr. Sourangshu Acharya. So before beginning the webinar with the set of questions, let me introduce our speaker today. Mr. Sourangshu Acharya is Principal Software Engineering Manager at Bing Microsoft Hyderabad. Here, he has been leading teams on enterprise search relevance, working on different aspects of search like improving the question answering engine, ranking of documents, enterprise query classification, auto suggestion of queries, related researches, etc., using various machine learning techniques. He is also guiding the team for structured entity attribute extraction from unstructured web documents in the Edge browser. Till mid 2019, he and his team were working on full relevance stack as well as rich experiences for local search for United Kingdom, Australia, Indian markets, and some of the European markets as well. He was engineering manager for team owing entire relevance quality of Bing local search for UK, Australia, and Canada. Earlier, he was also part of Magma Design Automation. So, warm welcome, Swanda sir.
Hello Rahul, hello friends. I'm really excited about today, Rahul. I got to learn about this initiative from TCS ION and more specifically this forum where I can interact and talk with a lot of young people and young minds about a topic that's I feel very passionate about, right? And share some of my experiences and hopefully inspire a few folks to be part of this extremely exciting field. So really excited about that, and thanks for a beautiful introduction of myself, Rahul.
Thank you, sir. It's all our pleasure. And let's start the show by knowing the basics of machine learning from Swarna sir and the facets of machine learning also. Over to you, sir.
Well, Rahul, that's a very good question to start off this conversation. The reason being, I feel that today machine learning has become a buzzword, right? There's a lot of interest, there's a lot of excitement. Everyone wants to be in this field of machine learning, which is all good. But at the same time, I feel like we should be grounded and knowing the fundamentals of any subject, leave aside machine learning, right? So I think that's a great way to kick off this conversation. So if you look at machine learning, right, fundamentally it consists of few very basic and fundamental areas of research. Like one, you can look into like statistics, right? It has a big influence in all the machine learning research. For example, studying what different types of data distribution we see in practice, what are the different properties they follow, or drawing from the research on probability theory, right? Fundamental things. Then you also get into things like calculus, right? I believe in the audience we have folks coming from like high school or early college levels, right? So there, like you would have known about basic differentiation, right? dx dt. So the mapping that dx dt is actually a gradient, how you follow the gradient of a curve function. That is a fundamental thing that is used in a lot of machine learning algorithms, right? So you have statistics, you have calculus, then also another field of mathematics that is core to machine learning is also around linear algebra, which is about your matrix operations and all that, right? Which is again like almost like a part of like high school mathematics curriculum, right? So what I'm trying to say is machine learning fundamentally, if you leave aside all the buzzwords and all that, is consisting of some of these core mathematical kind of areas: statistics, probability, calculus, linear algebra. And then on top of that, you also need some amount of programming skills, right? Where you can actually translate these mathematical concepts into something that you can run as code and see some beautiful results coming out of that. Right? And if you go like into the history of machine learning, right? Some of the fundamental and important research behind this area has actually dates back to 1960s, even maybe even a little before. Right? So fundamentally it's about these concepts, and उसके ऊपर आपका थोड़ा programming language का knowledge जरूरी रहता है. About facets, I will try to take a very simple example to almost like explain machine learning in very layman terms, right? Think of an example that maybe you're teaching something very basic as color, right, to a child. तो आप क्या करते हो, ये से कि देखो ये एप्पल लाल है, ये पेंसिल बॉक्स लाल है, स्काई इज ब्लू, ये सोफा ब्लैक है, राइट? आप and then after some time you again ask the child, hey ये एप्पल का कलर क्या है बताओ. मान लो it's a very एकदम बच्चा है, right? So he or she says it's black. Then he say no, remember मैंने आपको बताया था ये एप्पल लाल है. Again after some time you ask the question to the child, ये एप्पल का कलर क्या है? Then he or she says ये लाल. Okay? So this is a very simple example, but if I now translate that to machine learning, this is essentially what is happening at a humongous scale. Like मैं तो 3-4 example दिया, ये एप्पल लाल है, ये पेंसिल बॉक्स लाल है, सोफा ब्लैक है. Think of it happening like billions of times, right? Of different types, and then these machine learning algorithms is again like that child. पहले तो उसको कुछ मालूम नहीं होता है. Now from that billions of amount of data, वो सीखता रहता है, थोड़ा mistakes करता रहता है. Then फिर से उसको because of the data वो खुद को फिर से correct कर लेता है. And this is how it keeps on learning. Just start off with a very simple example, just to ensure that people are not like afraid or of this like wow machine learning क्या है पता नहीं क्या है, sounds very fancy and all that. ऐसा वैसा कुछ नहीं है. Fundamentally it's simple and like the core concepts, and anyone can learn about it.
Thank you, sir. Very nicely put with an amazing example. So, coming to the next question, this is a misconception, or what we can say, the confusion between the artificial intelligence or machine learning. जैसा कि हम लोग देखते हैं कि artificial intelligence का use हर field में हो रहा है. So, is it the same case with the machine learning also? Can you please clarify on this thing?
Sure, Rahul. This question or something very similar questions is something that I get asked, or a lot of people in machine learning areas get asked a lot. Like artificial intelligence क्या है? मशीन लर्निंग क्या है, डेटा साइंस क्या है, डेटा माइनिंग क्या है, डेटा एनालिटिक्स क्या है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में स्कोप बहुत है, और जैसे दूसरे मशीन लर्निंग में भी वैसा है कि नहीं है। तो मेरा आंसर थोड़ा अलग होगा, बिकॉज आई विल कम फ्रॉम अ मोर प्रैक्टिकल पर्सपेक्टिव। आप थ्योरी लगाओगे, डेफिनेशन लिखोगे तो यस, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एक जगह है, मशीन लर्निंग एक जगह है, डेटा एनालिटिक्स अलग जगह है, एंड देन यू कैन से ओ ये आप एआई पे काम कर रहे हो, आप मशीन लर्निंग पे काम कर रहे हो, आप डेटा एनालिसिस पे काम कर रहे हो। But from my experience, if you are working on some industry scale problem, right, and you really want to make a difference, you need to have that learning attitude, and आपको ना in different time points of time you will have to inculcate and become experts in all these different aspects. So practically मेरे हिसाब से it is not as important to understand the nuances and differences. Yes, there are differences, like differences in all of this, like artificial intelligence आप सोच सकते हो is the overall thing, right? The big dream behind artificial intelligence is that someday we will be able to actually simulate human behavior, right? Human intelligence, human emotions as well, right? That's the big dream. Machine learning, data science, data mining are probably different parts of artificial intelligence. Just like come on that. Machine learning specifically is more focused in the area where you are basically trying to learn, get insights, infer understanding from huge scale data. Okay. But again, coming to my practical angle to all this, it is not as important to understand the differences, और अब जैसे बोल रहे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज, बहुत रिसर्च हो रहा है, मशीन लर्निंग में भी बहुत रिसर्च हो रहा है, लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज, लॉट ऑफ advanced areas that people are working on, and in the recent past we have got some amazing results in different fields, not just one field, a lot of different types of problems. So yeah, opportunities to machine learning में भी बहुत है, both I would say in the academic world में, तो as मैं पहले बता रहा था कि fundamental research had already started in like the 1960s, 70s kind of thing. But in the last 10 years or before that, even industry has started investing a lot, right? Because they see the potential of great results that they can achieve through machine learning. And what that means is that obviously a lot of opportunity has been created, both on the academic world as well as in the industry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for explaining the difference between the two. So, okay, thank you, sir. So, moving on to next question. Generally, sir, एक misconception होता है कि engineers or those students who are having the good mathematical power, they only can enter into these kind of fields of AI or MI or data analytics. So, can you please clarify on these parts कि कौन इस field में जाने का dream कर सकता है, और who can plan to make their career in this field?
Yeah, very good question, Rahul, again, and also I think this will be interesting for the attendees from the audience as well. So I'll try to answer it with a couple of different perspectives. एक तो देखिए, if you are coming from an engineering background, right? Some of these concepts or nowadays college में तो machine learning, AI, computer vision का actual courses as part of the curriculum भी रहता है, right? And you have lab sessions on machine learning areas as well. So आप अगर उस background से आ रहे हो तो definitely you are getting trained and you are upskilling yourself in this area, right? So उस background से then you are trying to get into either academics or industry in the machine learning focused areas. तो आपको definitely एक तो advantage नहीं बोलूँगा, you have got that knowledge and some theoretical background which can help you, right? That is definitely true. But at the same time, जो आपने बोला था कि if I don't have a theoretical background in like mathematics or machine learning per se, like can I even dream of being part of, like I'm interested in this field, but can I really dream about this? तो उसका मेरा short answer तो है absolutely you can, right? It is not just about machine learning, it's almost like any topic, right? Of course you need knowledge, but more fundamentally again my strong belief is that you need that learning attitude, right? आपको genuine interest होना चाहिए, and then you need to be invested in understanding and researching about the topic, and then being able to, and this is very important, being able to apply that knowledge into unknown problems. आप इंडस्ट्री पे आओगे, academic में research करोगे, you will not know the solutions. You will, like, people are working on the next gen problems, तो उसका solution तो पता ही नहीं है. Okay? So it's very critical that you have that like that attitude or that hunger where you can apply your knowledge. Right? तो आप engineering background से आ रहे हो या mathematics background से आ रहे हो, so you get some forum of like having the opportunity for that knowledge, right? But आपको ये कोई directly नहीं सिखा पाएगा कि how should you apply your knowledge, right? That is where your innate ability, your intellectual horsepower comes into the picture, right? And that growth mindset kind of things. Now, so this is my like personal opinion. Now, I would also like to add with some practical examples. Like I've been fortunate enough to be part of a lot of recruitment drives that Microsoft takes up, right? So I can actually give you examples that I personally have hired people who are from physics background. Like I had hired a person who had a PhD in physics to work on machine learning areas, right? Why? Two things. Like one, yes, even though he was from a physics background, he was able to identify कि नहीं, मेरा जो ये thesis का problem मैं कर रहा हूँ, there is some parallel research in machine learning, but he was able to connect those dots. Like machine learning will help him solve some of the problems that he was working on, right? And उसमें क्या हो रहा है? So what I as an interviewer or I as a person who is trying to decide whether I should hire this person or not, right? I'm getting this awesome insight that here is a person who was able to connect the dots between these two things, and as part of that he upskilled himself, like from his perspective itself, like he invested, he studied about machine learning, got to know about it and applied it and solved this problem. So that's again a very beautiful aspect that's important for like when we are looking for people to hire into our teams, right? Other examples, again, these are like actual examples, right? We have quite a few people coming from economics background working on machine learning, right? So this is my take. Like personally, philosophically, I would say yes, somebody who is genuinely interested in this field needs to stay invested. I mean, it's not easy. There are no shortcuts. You need to work hard. You need to have that interest. You need to work through all the challenges. But yes, after you have done that, and after you, the opportunity is there. Of course, if you're coming, as I said, through some of the other curriculums, which is giving you that knowledge, I mean, that is an additional benefit, definitely. But आपका the question that can somebody dream? Absolutely, they can dream, and it's not a dream. As I gave some examples from real world, that there are people who are working. I would say.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. So right now I can see so many questions coming from audience side. So let's take one question. Yes, I want to club my question with the audience question. Siva Teja is asking if we implement machine learning properly in future, that will affect the jobs of humans or not. So, and my question I want to add here is, what is the scope of machine learning if we see the perspective from the career point of view?
ओके, तो मैं मिस त्रिजा का क्वेश्चन पहले ले रहा हूँ. See, this, if you take a step back, right, this is a question that has been on our, or the human society's mind for a long time, and it is not really closely related to machine learning. If you go back to like the 16th century industry revolution and all that, right, same thing, like anytime there is a significant advancement in automation, right, what that one of the side effects of that would mean that there is going to be a lot of people who are probably doing it in a different way, most likely in a more inefficient way, which is getting uh, disrupted and finally replaced to a better mode of automation, right? So it is true that people who were doing it in a more inefficient manner are getting in one perspective could be that they are getting replaced by a better and a more automated system, right? But again, as I took an example of, I went back to like almost 16th century, right? This has in history itself, this has repeated, and what we have seen actually, whenever such kind of a disruption happens, as long as fundamentally that change is for good, like it is a better way of doing things, right? The same set of people would actually upskill themselves, right? They will get trainings, they will improve themselves and be able to apply the automation in different other areas as well, right? So machine learning maybe I would say it is almost like history will repeat itself. We are seeing a lot of advancements through machine learning applications, which can a direct question that can take away jobs from some people. That can happen, but at the same time, I feel very confident that overall, like we as humans, we have that hunger for knowledge. People will upskill themselves, and machine learning also opens up a lot of new opportunities, and that's where I think overall it will be a good change for human society. Now, coming to your question, Rahul, around like the opportunities created through machine learning, which is kind of, I kind of ended the Teja's question too. It's like almost like limitless. Like in the last few years, tremendous amount of advancements and research has happened through machine learning applications, right? If I take a view of pure like the job opportunities, right, which I think a lot of people in the audience might be actually interested about. Look at companies like, I'm from Microsoft, right? Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Amazon. These are all tech companies. You would kind of assume that they will be working on machine learning, and there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of hiring happening from these companies, right? But it's not only these type of companies, right? Even other like Tesla fundamentally is a car company, right? But a lot of research in computer vision is happening in Tesla, right? Because they dream of a world where the car is going to drive on its own. It will be very interesting to see how that happens in India, but they are close enough in US, right? So essentially a car company investing hugely in machine learning, right? And it's not just about Tesla, like a lot of other car companies are joining the bandwagon there as well, right? If I look at something very different, probably not as much talked about, which to me is a bit surprising, but if you look at medical research, right, tremendous amount of opportunities and research and machine learning applications are happening in medical sciences, right? Like how do we understand the gene structure? Like how can we like target different types of viruses. Maybe in this current scenario of the COVID impacting the whole world is an interesting aspect also. But overall in medical science also a lot of we see a lot of applications and opportunities through machine learning. Then if you look at financial companies like the banks, there are a lot of statistical models that they do behind the scenes to be able to understand like where should the investment be done more prudently, which will most likely give better returns and all that, right? So like across the world, like another field again, not I would say probably talked a lot about, like even something basic as like weather predictions, right? It's actually a very hard problem. And big data processing and some extent machine learning is also used to do that, right? So what I'm through all these examples, what I'm trying to land, Rahul, is that machine learning opportunities and areas are like pervasive, like across different the types of industries and all that. There are a lot of research and opportunity, and as I said, like it's an area that I'm very passionate about, and I see a very bright future. And I would love to see folks from the audiences investing their time, their skills, becoming knowledgeable about this area, and would love to probably some point of time see them in the industry working on this area.
Thank you, sir. So hope Siva has got his answer. So just want to take one more question from audience side. What is the future of machine learning in stock market and forex markets? It's a very interesting question coming from Bhautik Bhalala.
Yeah, Bhautik, as I was just talking about when trying to answer the previous question, right? It's not just that the tech companies like Google, Microsoft are working in machine learning. No, there's a lot of work happening in the financial institutions, banks, investment banking, and all that. So, stock market, as I said, like there are various ways to model the problem, but one very simple way of applying machine learning is that you might want to see it as a time series kind of a distribution, right? You can also try to model it as a regression model where you try to predict, like with the previous data, कल का stock price for a particular company क्या होगा, right? So there are some pretty advanced models that companies like I would say Morgan Stanley or ICICI they do behind the scenes to be able to guide their investments, right? Essentially stock price is going up because people are buying that stock more, right? And there is a decision making engine. It's not only through machine learning, there's a human angle to it as well, but definitely a lot of advanced statistical models are used to make some of these decisions.
Thank you, sir. It's nice to hear from you that it has a maximum implementation in the field of all the things basically what you have just now said कि weather prediction के लिए भी हम लोग machine learning की help लेते हैं in different segments also. So whenever we talk about machine learning, there are different courses also, or if we talk about the education level, कितना education हमको लेना है, कौन सी degree is the best for machine learning. So next question is related to that only. ML expert बनने के लिए क्या educational qualification जरूरी है, and what are the best qualifications for?
So I kind of probably touched upon different areas for this question while talking, but let me try to summarize that. Educational qualifications in terms of if you want to get into machine learning as a career, definitely if you have some engineering background where you're basically having some of these things as part of your curriculum, right? Statistics, probability, Nowadays, as I said, like explicit machine learning courses are also happening as part of even like BTech Riverside effect. Right? So that definitely helps, right? But the beauty of today's world, Rahul, is that information is not a barrier anymore, right? मुझे अगर if I don't get into an IIT, is my scope gone, dead? No, absolutely not. Like maybe some long time back, but right now, in lack of information is not a barrier, right? So there are actually a lot of great online courses and a lot of online platforms that has opened up, right? So जहाँ पे you can get very good knowledge aspect of it, right? Or the information aspect of it. Like think about it. Like when I was in college, I would also dream of the MIT, Stanford, Berkeley, IITs in India, ISC. A lot of these colleges have now actually opened up. आप YouTube में जाओगे, you will see full like classroom courses of MIT in deep learning available, right? Like the people actually classroom पे जो उनको सिखाया जा रहा है, that's streamed in and recorded in YouTube. So आप ये देखो कि from an information point of view, what is the difference between somebody who has cracked all the exams, a great person, made it through, is studying in MIT, and you who for whatever reason are sitting in some place in India, right? And but you still have that dream. You still have that hunger. That नहीं मुझे कुछ करना है. I feel this area is very interesting. And now, I mean, yes, probably not everybody in India has full internet, but a lot of people actually have, right? Let's be honest and practical. So people go there and you can just sit through like virtually through all those classes and get access to all of this information, right? So that I think is very great aspect of today's world, right? And I would really encourage people in the audience, if they are interested in this area, of course, if you get into some great engineering colleges, that's great. But even if you don't, please do seek out. There are a lot of available resources for getting yourself to be trained, right? And so this is the knowledge or the information part of it. The other very important part, जो मैं पहले भी बोल रहा था, you need to apply that knowledge, right? Just having that information is not enough. As I said, right now, information is not a barrier, right? So for you to really shine, you also need to have that mental attitude, that hunger, that intellectual horsepower, where you can apply this knowledge on like large-scale problems and showcase your work, right? Another aspect that I would like to highlight, and I really would like to encourage people in the audience to leverage, is that now a lot of like you can basically showcase your work through open source. Like you go get into GitHub and share your work through GitHub, right? Like people like me who are, let's say, going into a hiring kind of a scenario, we do look into some of these aspects. Like how have you as an individual showcased your work, right? And the barrier to showcase your work in today's world is much lower. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to actually showcase your knowledge, your application of that knowledge. And I would really encourage folks in the audience to leverage that to the full.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So there are limitless opportunities, what you have guided us right now.
Absolutely.
Just you have to take the right decision and right path, and world is yours. So, sir, there is one question related to the same, only the certification part, because generally we see maximum, most of the certifications like Azure, AWS, or GCP. So, Chandrakant is asking, how does these type of certifications help us to grow in our career related to machine learning?
So I will try to give a practical view of this, I think drawing from my experiences, and I will showcase both sides of the world, right? So to start off with, I'll share from my personal experiences, right? As I said, like being fortunate enough to be part of a bunch of recruitment drives from Microsoft, right? When we are trying to hire the top talent, we don't look into these certifications as much, right? Because these certifications, to a large extent, is giving you that information, that knowledge, right? And when we are trying to hire a person, it's more about, yes, the knowledge is a given, that information is a given, that person must have it. But we are trying to evaluate, will that person be able to apply that knowledge into some unknown problem, right? So from that perspective, I would say, like personally, or like some of the top companies when they are recruiting, these certifications are good, but they are definitely not guarantees in terms of getting there, right? Now, the other view also I would like to put forward, as I was telling, like these certifications are giving you knowledge and also some amount of hands-on experiences of applying to some extent as well. So net, I would say, like if you have the opportunity to follow through and get some of these certifications, you should go ahead, but don't limit yourself to just that, in the sense ki, is that a guarantee for you to get into some great career opportunities? It's one of the things that one of the many things that you can try and do, is what I would say.
Thank you, sir. So hope Chandrakant has got his answer. So don't rely on these courses much. Just take the right step in the right direction. So coming to this next question, as we have already discussed earlier, you have told that students must have these kind of skills of analytics or mathematics. But if we want to summarize the three key skill sets for being a machine learning expert, so what will be these skills?
So skills, as I said, Rahul, that you need to have some amount. It also depends on which area are you in. Like if you are in the academic area, you need a more sound theoretical foundation and background, right? So in terms of the theoretical background, it is around like statistics, vector calculus, linear algebra kind of things, right? At the same time, when you are like applying machine learning algorithms, do you really need to understand everything about it? No. Like right now, a lot of like open source libraries are available, right? So some amount of that programming skills, I would say, is the second aspect that you should have, right? Third, very important and probably very less talked about, but from my experiences, I would say very important, is that you need to have that learning attitude. In machine learning, what I can say from my experiences, a lot of things that we do actually fail in the sense that they do not graduate into the final product that Microsoft releases out, right? So personally, me, a bunch of things that I try actually end up not working, right? But that's the beauty of it, in the sense that you should not get disheartened by that, but you should actually learn from that, and so that your next one is a better, you basically improve yourself, right? So that is like a mindset, I would say, as the third area that I would really encourage people getting into machine learning to have that. You need to have that learning attitude and don't be like bogged down if something doesn't work out. Like what I tell my team in machine learning, like if everything that you're doing, everything succeeds, then you're doing something wrong. Either you're not working on the toughest problems because the nature of machine learning is such that it's kind of probabilistic, right? So a lot of things that you try will not work out, but you keep iterating, keep learning, and then finally one day you see like awesome results. And like yeah, so that learning attitude, that attitude of not getting bogged down by failures, but actually learning from failures is another soft skill or attitude aspect that I would like to highlight when you say like the top 3 skills. Yes, you need to have some fundamental theoretical knowledge, programming skills in terms of coding those algorithms up, and as I said, third of like that learning attitude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So as we are running short of time and we are close to end this session, so my last question will be about the industry perspective. So what about the best ML tools and techniques which we are using in industry?
Yeah. So there are a lot of great tools out there. Just name a few. So you have TensorFlow, you have PyTorch, you have Azure ML, right? So some of these are like great tools, and there are also open source tools as well available. But some of the ones that I just talked about are very popular in the industry. Thing is, it's a very vibrant area also. Like the latest and the greatest improvements get pushed out to these tools and are available to anyone who wants to be a machine learning practitioner. Right? So definitely you should at least be comfortable with any one of these tools, if not a couple. Right? The other, when I was talking about programming languages, right, Python is a very popular language when people are coding up their machine learning systems or pipelines, right? So would be good if you upskill yourself or invest some time understanding Python. A lot of rich machine learning libraries are available in Python, which makes your life in terms of coding things up much simpler. R is another statistical language, also reasonably popular, not as popular as Python these days, but that's also, it has kind of a statistical base. But R is another language that you can think of learning as well. So yeah, I would say TensorFlow, PyTorch, Azure ML, some of the top tools in the industry. And from a programming language perspective, Python is probably now the most popular one.
A big thank you to our dear speaker, Mr. Sorangshu, for your opinion and key insights today. We appreciate you making time from your busy schedule to speak to us, to our participants. I'm sure with your valuable views and with your guidance, they will surely get benefited. So, thanks a lot once again, sir.
Thank you. As I said, Rahul, I was really excited about this opportunity, and great work done by you and your team as well. And all the best to folks in the audience. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.